audio version. And on this week's episode, I do have two pay-per-view reviews for WWE SummerSlam and NXT Takeover 36. But before that, I do want to get into mainly one news topic that I do have, and that is CM Punk returning to professional wrestling in over 7 years and a part of AEW Rampage and his AEW debut. And I must have watched the debut slash return about 4 times already, and it's still crazy to think that he's actually in pro wrestling again, and it looks like he's going to be obviously all elite. That has been confirmed and everything, so that's been really cool. I've been wanting this for since forever, and seeing the return and everyone being excited and really happy that he's back and everything has been well worth it. So right away, he talks about why he's back and everything, and what he's in a way kind of looking to do, and basically mentioning Darby Allin, who is in the rafters with Sting and wanting to issue the challenge for All Out. So his first match back is with Darby Allin at All Out. So that's going to be something exciting to see, and I'm looking forward to that. So I'm curious to see what other feuds that CM Punk will have. That's going to be really cool. There's going to be so many different ones he can really do. I'm pretty sure he's going to be helping out talent and everything, and putting people over and whatnot, having his own feuds, and maybe even getting the world championship way later on down the road. So there's a lot of things he can really be doing. That's going to be really exciting. So 2021 already for professional wrestling is definitely interesting. You never know who's going to show up where. There's so many, opportunities now for a lot of people, and it just makes it for really exciting stuff. So I just wanted to touch bases on that a little bit and give my own thoughts. So I thought it was dope, and I've been wanting this for forever. So I'm definitely a CM Punk fan, and looking forward to seeing CM Punk and Darby Allin at All Out. So that's going to be interesting to see. But we are here for, of course, obviously for SummerSlam and as well NXT Takeover 36. So I'll get into SummerSlam, which was on the Saturday. A little different. Used to that sort of big pay-per-view on a Sunday. They did it on a Saturday this time around, and it was at Alliance Stadium in the bigger arena and the stadium this time. And also, Money in the Bank is looking to be there in the same place for next year. So I thought that was pretty interesting how they were able to have Money in the Bank there for next year, to see how that's going to be turning out. So that'll be something to look forward to. But with the first match where we had a bonus match, only one kickoff match where we had Big E versus Baron Corbin. And obviously, Baron Corbin is going through a hard time, basically, ever since he lost his right to be king of the ring, and now it's King Nakamura, and he even has the Intercontinental Championship, so he lost that. Baron Corbin, and just been trying everything that he can do to gain back everything from money and you know anything that was making him feel good as a king. Just gone, and just kind of feels like homeless and everything. So we have sad Baron Corbin eventually going to the Extreme Rules and actually taking the Money in the Bank briefcase from Big E. So that's where we had that match and everything. So Big E didn't have the briefcase for just a little bit, but he was able to come back and get it back and stop Baron Corbin on that. So it was a little weird seeing it on the kickoff, but it is what it is, and we'll see where things will go, especially for both Big E and Baron Corbin. And I thought there was going to be a cash in, especially for SummerSlam. I was kind of expecting it, but we didn't really get to see that. So I'm curious to see when Big E is actually going to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, and to see when that will happen. That remains to be seen. We get into the main card where we have the Raw Tag Team Championships on the line. AJ Styles and Almost taking it. RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Matt Riddle on that one. And I was hoping this match would actually take place in front of fans, and that's exactly what happened for SummerSlam. So a really good way to actually not only start things off for SummerSlam, but with fans being back and everything, to have this cool moment, especially to see if AJ Styles and Almost can keep the Raw Tag Team Championships, since they've been champions at that time since around WrestleMania. So a good while they had the Tag Team Championship. So there was this kind of like thing with Randy Orton and Riddle to see if they were going to be able to get along and everything. After a while, it was, rocky a little bit, and then they were able to finally be together and have a match at SummerSlam and actually get the Raw Tag Team Championships I was hoping for. So, that's cool and everything. I could see them having a good enough run just about as long as AJ Styles and almost with the Raw Tag Team Championships. So they're actually holding their own. Really cool, and I didn't think I would like the team this much, to say the very least. Then we get into Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie, and the match I didn't really care for too much. With being all honest and everything, we didn't really see anything kind of crazy and out of control. We did see Lily get beat up and everything, but nothing to really have her get back at anyone. And we didn't see anything, like paranormal or whatever, and no one, being controlled or anything like that. So I was expecting a little bit too much out of this match, but Alexa Bliss did win. That's fair. That's good. The right person won there and everything. And also, Dewdrop actually stopping basically Eva Marie and wanting to move away from her, and then just basically breaking up. So, and now she's still going to be called Dewdrop, even though I wish she was still Piper Niven. But these names and changing the names is just getting weirder and weirder by the day. So, I don't see why they would actually, just bring back the Piper Niven name and everything. So, there's that. And just trying to refresh things with the Brown. Bear with me on that. But yeah, that's the least match that I was looking forward to for SummerSlam. And the next match where we had to get into the United States Championship match, Sheamus and Damien Priest. This match definitely surprised me, especially with the chemistry that these two had and going back and forth. It really could have went either or on this one. And Sheamus, giving a devastating kick at one point to Damien Priest, which is crazy. And Damien Priest was able to come back and actually get the United States Championship, and that's really cool. Definitely well deserved, and actually moving up from the Miz and Morrison for so long, and now able to do other things. And as of around Monday, he's looking to actually go after uh, right away. It seems like after Bobby Lashley. So, I'm not against that feud. I think that would be really cool to see, especially something different. So, champion type of match there in the near future. Then we get into the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, the Usos and the Mysterios. This has been going on for quite some time, and to see if the Usos can actually keep the Tag Team Championships for Roman Reigns and the family and everything. The Mysterios trying to gain back the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, but didn't really get to, and the Usos were able to keep the Tag Team Championships, which is fine and fair, and it doesn't really bother me too much. So the only thing is who will be able to actually face the Usos next after the Mysterios. Getting into the SmackDown Women's Championship, this is where things get really interesting. What was supposed to be Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks in the rematch, we learned after a while that Sasha Banks, for whatever reason, didn't get to actually be cleared to actually be in the match and everything. So I don't know exactly fully what happened, but I'll try and see what went down and everything. So we did have someone else get to be involved, and that was Carmella, and it was looking to be Carmella and Bianca Belair. But there's another but in this one, and we actually get to see the returning Becky Lynch on this one, issuing the challenge and having the match there right then and there for SummerSlam. And it was cool seeing her back and everything, but just how the match went down, and it was really short. Um, didn't really care for that much because it was kind of a bad taste too, especially with Bianca Belair having this long title run and everything, and not a Raw. So um, I'm trying to look at the bigger picture, and I know it looks like Becky Lynch is looking to go heel. I thought Bianca Belair was going to actually be turning heel since she lost, and she was going to get frustrated. That's what I thought out of that, but it looks like it's going to be the other way around. So it's going to take some time to get used to being able to see Becky Lynch as a heel when it comes to all of this. So Just gonna have to wait and see how that's gonna play out. But I am happy Becky Lynch is back. Just the whole shortness of the match wasn't really needed, if I'm all honest. Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal on this one, in a way, didn't really last far too long, but it's basically, did his thing, and we did see a couple of things. Obviously, trying to have Jinder Mahal, to see if he can do things on his own without fear and Shanky, since they were banned from the ringside. So in the end, Drew McIntyre was able to put away Jinder Mahal there. Then we get into the Triple Threat Raw Women's Championship match. Nikki ASH, Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley on this one. And basically, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, in a way, ignoring Nikki and everything, kind of like pushing her to her side for the most part. And eventually, she was able to come back and show off her skills and looking to show that she can fly and everything. Charlotte Flair showing how much she wants back the Raw Women's Championship, as well as Rhea Ripley. So, having that good back and forth and everything. And yeah, really was enjoying Nikki as Raw Women's Champion, especially warming up to her new gimmick and everything. I actually think it's really cool. Just seeing it more often now. I was on the fence at first, and then now seeing it more and more. It seems like it's more of her own thing, which is even better. So that's really cool to see that. But unfortunately, she did lose, and not really far too mad at Charlotte Flair actually gaining back the Raw Women's Championship, even though that really wasn't needed either. And I would have preferred Nikki to retain and keep the championship. So it looks like she's going to most likely be chasing the title, but also Alexa Bliss, she wants her chance to be Women's Champion as of Raw on Monday. So now it looks like, in a way, Nikki and Rhea Ripley might be in a tag team, so maybe they'll get to be in the women's tag team division for a little bit. So that remains to be seen. So, there is other things to be looked at there. Then we get to Edge and Seth Rollins, and this one was a match that I was also looking forward to. These two going back and forth basically in the dream match, and to see who will be able to stop each other on this one. And it was really a tough one to call basically. Eventually, at one point, Edge using the Glam Slam and everything, and Seth Rollins doing everything he can to stop Edge. But in the end, which is really surprising, but you know, Edge actually walked away. He made Seth Rollins tap, and he was able to walk away with the win. So that is interesting to see how that was able to go. Maybe it's going to continue. That would be pretty cool. But we'll see what happens with that. So Edge, challenging basically his inner brood right there. Also, WWE Championship with Bobby Lashley and Goldberg on this one. I was expecting this to actually be short and not go as long as it did and everything. And after a while, Bobby Lashley just beat the holy hell out of Goldberg, kind of similar to Kofi Kingston. And to the point where Goldberg actually couldn't get up, we had a disqualification. That was weird. I don't really care for disqualifications on pay-per-views. It just really looks weird, especially on the big four like that. But does show the dominance of Bobby Lashley and everything. So I would expect a rematch at some point, most likely, probably at Crown Jewel. I can see that. And Bobby Lashley actually keeps his WWE title, so that's really good on that end, showing that he's able to still remain on top. And then we get into the main event, Universal Championship, Roman Reigns and John Cena. John Cena looking to prove a point and looking to be 70-time world champion on that. And we've seen these two, of course, dealing with it all and having to be where we saw the DDT on this one. A lot of near falls here. Of course, that was a pretty really cool stuff there to see who will be able to stop Roman Reigns. Just when you're thinking it was going to be John Cena, but Roman Reigns does come back and eventually retains Universal Championship. Not really mad at that either, too, because the thing that he's been doing with being the head of the table has been working really well. And now looking to have Brock Lesnar come back, he came back and basically issuing the challenge to Roman Reigns, and that's looking to be the next feud. I'm pretty sure that who knows when we'll see John Cena, but probably around Survivor Series. I would expect that and everything. So, that should be something to see with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar this time around for Universal Championship, and having the roles reversed on this. Same thing with Roman Reigns and John Cena, since they had their feud in 2017. So it's interesting to see how the roles were basically reversed on this one, if you want to put it this way. So Roman Reigns retains, and we get to see Brock Lesnar back. So two returns with Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar, and both of them look to be on SmackDown. So SmackDown is definitely looking stacked, especially before the upcoming WWE draft, which will be incoming, I believe. I want to say in October, if I'm not mistaken. So don't quote me on that. So yeah, a lot to really take in there. And now we move on to NXT Takeover 36, which was on a Sunday. So again, things reverse on that. Normally, NXT Takeovers would take before a big pay-per-view, and now they were taken afterwards. So where we had LA Knight and Cameron Grimes for the $1 Million Championship. And this is where Cameron Grimes is basically having enough and wanting to be able to break on his own and stop being the butler to LA Knight, and having Ted DiBiase at the side and everything, and actually getting the $1 Million Championship from LA Knight, even though I like what he was doing and he was on the roll with it and everything, and looking sharp as a champion. So this feud has actually been one of my favorites, if I'm being all honest, on NXT for their side of things. So that was really interesting and cool to see Cameron Grimes get the $1 Million Championship. Then we get into Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. And obviously, Dakota Kai basically just laying out at one point Raquel Gonzalez, and kind of similar to what she's done with Tegan Knox and everything, and eventually getting jealous and wanted her chance to be Women's Champion. Even though I thought she was going to get the championship for NXT Takeover, that wasn't the case. Raquel eventually comes back, she retains, and we also get Kaylee Ray from NXT UK making a statement, wanting to get the Women's Championship, which I can actually see that happening too, for sure. And she had a really good run as NXT UK Women's Champion. So that was pretty interesting to see how that was able to transpire and it turned out. So I was really happy to see her on NXT, and hopefully at some point she'll also move on to the main roster, and then I think that would be well deserved there. Also, where we had the NXT Championship on the line, of course, Karrion Kross and Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe coming back, especially with his release and everything, and eventually being a part of NXT again. So that's been surreal to have him back, and really well worth it. And at the time, he was able to deal with William Regal and help him out and everything, and eventually being provoked and wanting to get back in the ring, especially dealing with Karrion Kross and having the match actually happen and everything. And these two definitely went at it, and having a war between the two, definitely for sure. And having to deal with the NXT title and everything. And it sucks to see that Karrion Kross actually losing the title, but also happy at the same time Samoa Joe gains back the championship. So it looks like Karrion Kross is looking to be on the main roster on Raw, since he's been back and forth at Raw and NXT. So there's that. And also going back before them, when we had the NXT UK title on the line, and Ilya Dragunov and Walter for their second match. And I really enjoyed their first encounter to NXT UK. And these two definitely went at it and did everything that they can to really stop each other. Where Dragunov actually almost at times almost stopped Walter, but with his dominance, he was able to come back and join in. And kind of similar to with the first match, we did see something similar in the way, but this time we had Dragunov actually making Walter tap out, getting the NXT UK Championship, and it was cool to see it with fans there this time and everything, since we didn't have fans for the last time. And I felt like that would have been an NXT takeover for the UK, NXT UK takeover, but we haven't seen those in a while, so we were able to have that at NXT Takeover 36, and Dragunov finally gets what he wants and actually stops Walter. So that was insane there. And then we get into the main event, of course, basically the 3 stages of Hell match, where we had Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole looking to have it be the final encounter, the third encounter, and everything. I enjoyed the first one a lot more, basically, in the on-station match, if you want to put it that way. And this one we had the singles match and everything. The other one would be basically a street fight for the second fall, which we did get to. And as well, the last and final fall in the steel cage, which we got all 3 stages of hell. And basically, at one point, they were tied basically a piece and everything. At one point, Kyle O'Reilly was looking to be handcuffed. We did see the use of steel chairs, the trash can and everything, and the weapons usage, definitely for sure. So, they definitely went all out for the match and everything. And eventually, surprisingly, Kyle O'Reilly comes back and actually wins. So now the question is, what's next for Adam Cole, since his contract is looking to be up? Is he going to be going to the main roster, or is he going to be going to AEW or elsewhere? That remains to be seen. So hopefully, I think that would be more cooler to actually have not Kyle O'Reilly, but Adam Cole on Raw. I feel like they can use him there. I think that would be wise, but that remains to be seen. So even if he does go, I definitely thank Adam Cole for everything that he's done, especially being able to give us the Undisputed Era and everything that they've done, getting all the gold and everything, being one badass stable. Enjoyed it until the end, and still insane that they were able to actually feud with Adam Cole and Kyle right after that. So we'll see what happens, especially what's next for Adam Cole. Where you think he's going to go? Definitely, we'll talk about that in the comments of the video form, or if you want to on of course, for the In the Hot Seat Podcast Twitter account, we can talk about that there as well. So yeah, a lot has happened for pro wrestling over the weekend. We still got some more with NWA Empower and, of course, the main NWA pay-per-view right after that. So another Saturday, Sunday situation going on. So more of that for pro wrestling this weekend. So I'll be looking to cover that. I might be able to do most likely a watch along for NWA Empower. I'm not too sure about that just yet, depending how things will go. If plans will change, I don't know, but we'll see on that, and that should be exciting. So that'll be definitely probably one of the pay-per-views I'm looking forward to the most this weekend is NWA Empower with the all-women's pay-per-view on that, and Mickey James has been handling that very well. So I'm curious to see who else is going to show up, what else is going to happen, and what other type of matches we will get to see on that. So that'd be exciting, and that about does it for my SummerSlam and as well NXT Takeover 36 review right here for the In the Hot Seat podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you're watching for the video form, be sure to leave a like, because that definitely helps out. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay notified, and as well leave your comments on what you thought about the topics that I did talk about. And as well, for those of you who are listening on the podcast for audio form, I appreciate your support each and every time, and hopefully you'll be back for the next other podcast. And I'm looking to do another non-wrestling related topic video at some point, so I'll be on the lookout for that. So that will definitely be happening. And of course, I'll be back for next Tuesday for NWA Empower and as well the NWA pay-per-view, both pay-per-views for next Tuesday. So until then, enjoy the rest of your week and the rest of your day. Until then, catch you guys next time, whenever the hell the next podcast may be.